waiting for they're switching between the Mutilus Harass and the Lurker tech when they're very vulnerable. I think this is when the Terran player is vulnerable in this build, when they're trying to switch back to the Medic Marine build. And yeah, as we see here, there's Leta trying to repair those raids, and an expansion going up here, so getting a little bit greedy here. He really only needs 2 bases to fight this off entirely, but at the same time, you want to get ahead like this. You want to secure your advantage, and you want to be able to take on some of the harassment, and at the same time, just be still functioning off of the same amount of bases that you were before. So yeah, what it's coming down to right now is I'm not sure what the Zerg player is switching to, though. It doesn't seem like he's going full-on Mutilus yet. Yeah, there's the Lurker eggs. So yeah, a really good switch actually. Seeing that the M&M switch is taking place, and he just canceled the Queen's Nest to put down another evolution chamber. So he is definitely going for this heavy upgrade Lurker build here. But we're gonna see what Leta can do with these raids, and from what I've seen in the past, it's a lot. But we'll see what he can do right now.
Yeah, Leta definitely can do a lot with raids normally, but it seems like Hyun actually has kind of devised a specific counter just for Leta here. You know, he's gotten the Overlord speed, he got the burrow for the drone, so he's really just played to... he took a big gamble, I think, with the build, figuring that Leta would probably go for the raids, but it's worked out pretty well for him up until now. Right now is just as I was saying that, it's like the game completely switched that, and you know, Leta actually started being able to harass. And now, did Hyun expand somewhere? Because we see a lot of drones traveling across the middle of the map.
Yeah, he did.
And we do see, you know, now we see Leta's raids just doing what they do best, and that's just melting any units that cross them. Even these Hydralisks aren't really standing a chance, you know. And he's taking out Overlords in one shot, which is always scary if you're a Zerg player. This harass is really going to put Leta ahead. And there's this scan for the burrow drones, so he just kind of negated that. I'd really like to see Leta, you know, possibly secure an expansion at this point, you know, kind of get himself into the thick of things economically, because if he doesn't expand soon, you know, we're going to see, obviously Hyun's just going to keep expanding. And, you know, as was proven by GG play back in an older OSL, Incroot, if you just let a Zerg expand, it doesn't matter how good of a Terran you are going to lose if you do not try and keep up with them economically.
Yeah, so there we see what Frank said was that switch is deadly, and that's exactly, well, the both of them were switching, but Leta continued to produce those wraiths and focus on them. He also got that scan, which was kind of cute, to kill all of those burrow drones, as I said before. But the thing is, Hyun was too hard on the switch. Those lurkers didn't even matter, he just bypassed them. Because there weren't a lot of Medic Marines. Now they are. Now he's starting to build up the Medic Marine force. But he still had those raids, and they took out a lot. They took out an entire mineral line. They took out all of those Overlords. They did exactly that. Now he's going to go back to the Lurkers. He just forgot about them. They weren't important. He went straight for the mineral line. And this is going to be painful. Oh, watch out, little Marines. So yeah, I think Leta is still very much in this. Although, yeah, Hyun has expanded, but he lost an entire mineral line. And he said it was actually a drone or a Zerglings. Burrowed still with Commentating that had to go. But yeah, so the expansion is now up. And I think, yeah, Leta has the upper hand here. I'm curious what Hyun's going to do now. If he's probably going to stick to the Hydralisks. But I think it might already be too far gone. I don't know if Leta has already gone for the science facility for science vessel. I don't really think he needs them yet. But now it's a bit of a stalemate where both of them are going to build up. There we go. So Hyun does have some Hydralisks running around. I don't know if he's going to switch them back to lurkers or if he's given up. There we go. We've got a dropship incoming. So yeah, Frank, go on.
Yeah, this is pretty typical Leta type play where he just escorts this dropship in with his wraiths, and what he does is he makes it look like he's just going in for another wraith harass, but then he just drops off these Marines. Oh, but it's gonna get spotted, so some defense. Actually, I want to comment on how Hyun has been doing such a great job of this burrow scouting, but he's dropping. He gets out 5 Marines. These 5 Marines, however, can be extremely devastating if he uses them correctly. Taking out Hydralisks just get absolutely worked by Marines, and now these Scourges are getting worked by these raids, which is usually something you never hear about. But yeah, Scourges getting owned by raids, and yeah, it looks like Leta, actually, I think what Leta did with all this harassment, I think he just bought his way back into the game, because I think he was a little bit behind, but then with all that harass, killing off all those drones, the Hydras, the Overlords, all that fun stuff, I think he just bought his way back into the game, and then he expanded at the same time. So I think that's definitely was his goal there, and now we see a Queen's Nest going down, so we're going to see Hive Tech. That is, unless Leta can do something about this. Yeah, and there's a very thin drone saturation across all those minerals. I think if Leta pushed right now, it would be the perfect timing, the absolute perfect timing, because what's his face? Hyun, I can't remember that guy's name, has been spending so many larvae recently on all those drones, and he still needs to spend larvae on drones. He's just now switching to building Hydralisks, but Hydras aren't going to do much against a medic marine force. He really needs to build a whole bunch of lurkers, and I don't think he's got the economy to do it as of yet.
And we did see a single lurker was dropped by Hyun, kind of on a cliff over the natural, and now he's got one in the main. So Hyun is trying to do a little harassment of his own, but you know, these little things, you know, this lurker, these lurkers are going to be fairly quickly eliminated. And the other nice thing about this 2-port Wraith build is it sets up for a very nice switch into SK, where you know, the Terran can just easily, you know, make the switch over to the vessels that they need for the effective SK Terran, and we're seeing that right now. But you know, Hyun, he's doing all right. He's not doing as well as he can. He definitely had a point in this game where it looked like he was taking an advantage, and now he's pushing, but Leta still has these Wraiths. Even as he's making the switch to the bio TVZ, he's still got these Wraiths. He's still able to utilize them. He's getting more than what they were worth out of them, I think. So Leta definitely securing an advantage in this game. The other thing I think he would be wise to do is maybe, you know, drop on that upper expansion. I haven't really seen much of what it's got in the way of, you know, colonies or anything, but if he were to drop on that, there's really not much Hyun can do to get his forces up there to kind of protect this thing. So, and it looks like he's actually doing that right now. So, and an amazing timing by Leta. He comes in just as the lurkers are in their eggs, so they really can't do anything. And he's going to set up a very nice, you know, force right outside of Hyun's base while he's attacking this third at the same time. So very nice play by Leta.
Yeah, it was. Hyun was clinging onto that map control, right? He had those few lurkers, but it really, Leta had so many forces now pushing out, doing that dual-pronged attack on the expansion and on the front here, and he's just going to shell the front. There's nothing he can do. He has he's got those lurkers, he's got some Hydralisks, that's it. Doesn't really have a substantial force. He's now going to come back from the top, try and flank here, but I don't think that's going to be all that successful. That one tank in the way, one lurker way off position. It's not going to work, man. So I don't think. Where's the Wraiths? He's even holding those back. Now D-Matrix on that one Marine, brave little Marine, gonna push out with these Hydralisks. That's not what they're designed for. He can't really do anything. That Science Vessel looming over there. So his only chance is something with a Defiler. Do amazing things with a Defiler, but it's probably going to get irradiated anyway. He's locked in. Leta has the advantage. It's all up to Hyun now. What is he going to do? There's a Defiler mount. What is he going to do? He's going to try to snipe that Science Vessel. Not going to work that way. Just leave the Scourge there. Yep, don't worry about it. Hydralisks versus M&M and a tank. Not good. Neither's Canal to connect the two bases. But, well, he's going to lose this natural. Do something with the Defilers or die. Simple as that.
Yeah, I think this is actually exactly what Leta was lining himself up for, was this this kind of forcing the Zerg player into a Hydralisk build, and then just taking advantage of it with the perfect counter to Hydralisks, which is the Medic Marine build. And he's played it out perfectly. I mean, he's got the Wraiths. He had the Wraiths out, and the hatchery does go down, by the way. And the Sunken Colony gets one spike off and just dies. That is the Bumblebee Sunken Colony right there. So yeah, so he set this up perfectly. Yeah, the Overlord just going for a scouting mission or a walk in the park, trying to get away from his home base.